Good morning, Chairman DeFazio, Chairman Larson, Ranking Member Graves, and members of the Aviation Subcommittee. My name is Lori Bassani, and I'm the president of the Association of Professional Flight Attendants. First, I'd like to extend my deepest condolences to Mr. Jiroge, Mr. Stuko, and all of the families who were impacted by the Ethiopian Air and Lion Air crashes. Their testimony was very compelling and heartfelt. APFA represents over 28,000 flight attendants of American Airlines and is the largest independent flight attendant union in the world. APFA is also a member of the Coalition of Flight Attendants, where labor organizations that represent virtually all U.S.-based flight attendants come together to promote aviation safety and our profession. Today, I'm proud to be the voice for the nearly 100,000 flight attendants across the nation. I know many of you on this committee travel each week and personally understand the challenges of air travel today. Believe me, we feel your frustrations. As both first responders on board the aircraft and the last line of defense, should the unthinkable happen again, your safety and security is our top priority. The 2018 FAA reauthorization bill included many safety improvements that we are all eager to see implemented and that need the continuing oversight of this important committee. We applaud the passage of this bill with overwhelming bipartisan support. It's a genuine tribute to leadership of this committee and the importance of these issues. There are several safety provisions I would like to speak to today. First, in Section 337, the FAA is instructed to review cabin evacuation procedures and the changes to passenger seating configurations. Stop. In the time that I've been speaking, it's been 90 seconds, my crew would be charged with evacuating a full aircraft with 291 lives aboard. I hope that we saved all of those lives, but here are some of the ways that we can do this. APFA has previously testified regarding our concerns on seat size, pitch, and our ability to evacuate an aircraft using just half of the exits in 90 seconds or less. This is the certification requirement mandated by the FAA. The truth is that passengers are now older, some are larger, and sometimes less mobile. As seat size and legroom continue to shrink, frustrations rise. We are seeing unprecedented levels of air rage. In an emergency landing, passengers no longer have enough space to assume the proper brace position. Under these conditions, is a 90-second evacuation still realistic? APFA believes that a comprehensive review of evacuation procedures under real-world conditions is long overdue. Second, the FAA recognizes that toxic fumes jeopardize flight safety, but has no process to collect reports from crew and no procedures to investigate such incidents. This means that the true extent of toxic fume contamination remains largely unknown. Last year, at our airline alone, 1,500 fume events were reported to our safety department. My members have been hospitalized and have suffered chronic and permanent neurological damage. Section 326 of the FAA bill takes first steps in addressing this issue by requiring the collection data and providing educational information to crew members. The Cabin Air Safety Act, introduced this year by Congressman Garamendi, specifically mentions carbon monoxide detectors and takes the FAA bill a needed step further, and we urge its adoption. Third, Congress amended the minimum flight attendant rest requirement from 8 to 10 hours. When Congress passed this legislation, the intent was clear. Simply modify the 1994 rule relating to flight attendant rest within 30 days of passage. Sounds simple, makes common sense, but apparently not. We are now hearing from the DOT and the FAA that it will take months to implement this modest change. Given the broad bipartisan support of this provision, we ask that the committee re-engage and insist on its timely implementation. Lastly, we want to thank the committee for your work providing oversight on the 737 Max Tragedies. When the aircraft regains flight status, we will be the ones in the aisles reassuring our passengers. Flight attendants must have absolute confidence in the aircraft and in the process that will return it to service. We continue to look to you to ensure that that process is fully transparent. As flight attendants, safety is in our DNA. On any given flight, on any given day, we can be called upon to attend to a heart attack victim, to fight fires, to avert security risks, to comfort a child traveling alone, to de-escalate enraged passengers, identify sex traffickers, and deal with turbulence and delays, all while being prepared to evacuate a plane stuffed full of passengers at a moment's notice within 90 seconds. We need to know and be able to communicate to the traveling public, our guests, that we have and will continue to have the safest aviation system in the world. Thank you. My testimony is now complete.
Thank you. Now recognize